Okay, so the first choice you need to make, is it ionic or is it covalent? How can you tell if a compound is ionic? If it starts with a metal, there is something else it could also start with. NH4, ammonium. So if it starts with a metal, if it starts with NH4, then you know you have an ionic compound. How do you know if you have a covalent compound? Nonmetals, and it's two and only two nonmetals. So if you have two nonmetals, it is covalent. And what is special when we have covalent compounds? What do we need to use? Prefixes. So once you get to quiz 6, you're going to be looking at the compound saying, does it start with a metal? Or does it start with NH4, in which case it's ionic? Is it made of two nonmetals? In that case, it's covalent and it needs prefixes. If it is ionic, there are going to be no prefixes. Now with ionic, that pretty much ends the covalent story right there. With ionic, you're going to have to choose whether you have Roman numerals, thank you, or whether you have no Roman numerals. How do you know if you need a Roman numeral or not? Multivalent. And multivalent metals will be where on your periodic table? They will be in the red zone. Okay, so Roman numerals we use for metals in the red zone. No Roman numerals we use for all other metals. This is for metals not in the red zone. And also nonmetals, we never use Roman numerals for nonmetals. And that's really what it comes down to. You also need to be familiar with your pink sheet. You don't need to memorize it. Is anyone missing a pink sheet? Does anyone need one? And today what we're going to do, just by way of review, for how to find the Roman numerals, and a little review on what we're doing with these guys, we're going to focus on how to find Roman numerals when you have compounds with polyatomic ions, okay? So let me pull up an example here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So your polyatomic ions, don't forget, those are on what color is the sheet? Pink. P for polyatomic, P for pink. They're on the pink sheet. In an ionic compound, how many things do you ever need, will you ever have to name 3 or 4 things? How many things will you need to name? You're going to need to name 2, because an ionic compound is made of a cation plus an anion. So you're only ever going to have to name 2 things, the cation and the anion. So you're not going to be trying to give 3 names to a compound, okay? 2 things. So even if you see a formula like this, KCH3COO, you're still going to be naming 2 things. Even though you're like, wow, that's a lot of things to name just 2 things, the first thing will always be what? It will always be either a metal or what else? NH4. Okay? So when we look at our compound here, does it start with a metal or NH4? Well, it starts with a K. And if we go to, and I will come back to this, if we go to our periodic table and we look up K, there is K right there. Okay, and it is a metal. Yes? So we go and we say, okay, here is my metal, that is my first thing. That means that all the rest of this nonsense that looks like a whole bunch of things, that's going to be our second thing. Okay, so you're not going to have to be naming, you're not going to be like, oh, it's potassium, carbon, hydrogen, carbon dioxide. Okay, that would be naming like 5 different things, yes? You only want to name 1 thing. Where will you look for this thing here? Look on the pink sheet. Okay, so we're going to look on our pink sheet for CH3COO. And this one I actually want to point out to you. CH3COO actually has 2 different names. Acetate is the common name. Ethanoate is the official name. So you can use either one, and it doesn't matter. Is good? Okay. We're going to go with acetate here because I prefer the common name. Most people use the common name. Ethanoate is something you use if you're taking first year organic chemistry or something like that, okay? So going back here, its name is acetate. And K is potassium. Does potassium need a Roman numeral? No, because potassium is not in the red zone, so it does not need a Roman numeral, okay? Now, I promised I would give you some examples with Roman numerals, but just before we do that, we're going to do one more where we don't need one. NH4NO3. That's a lot of things. They are all nonmetals. But remember, covalent compounds are 2 nonmetals, not like 3 or 4 nonmetals. So it's not a covalent compound, and you can recognize that because it begins with NH4. Remember, ionic compounds begin with either metal or NH4. And so this case we have NH4, so it is ionic. Where would we find NH4? Please go and see if you can find NH4. Don't forget, even though most of your polyatomic ions are on the bottom part of the sheet, you do have 2 positive ions, those cations, and one of them is NH4 and its name is ammonium. So we'll go back here and we'll name it ammonium. And then NO3, again, we just go, okay, I'm not going to be naming it ammonium nitrogen oxide because that would be trying to name 3 things and I only want to name 2 things. So I'm going to go look up NO3. Let's do that. It will also be on the polyatomic ion list. And you do need to be careful because there is an NO2 and an NO3. You want NO3, which is nitrate. So don't be fooled and choose the wrong one with the wrong number, okay? So that's nitrate. Okay. FePO4. Is that ionic or covalent? Ionic because iron is a metal. So this is iron. Does it need a Roman numeral? Does iron need a Roman numeral? And how do you know? We're going to go check on our periodic table and see, is iron in the red zone? Yes, it is. So it does need a Roman numeral. So put brackets there, ready for the Roman numeral. We'll fill it in a little bit later. Then the rest of the thing is PO4. What is PO4? That is phosphate because we can go look, we can say, what is PO4? It is and I've scribbled all over this, it is phosphate. PO4 3- is phosphate. So we're going to name this phosphate. In order to find the Roman numerals, first thing you have to do is you have to write out all the ions. How many irons do we have? We have 1. How many phosphates do we have? We have 1. Don't be confused, and this is so easy to do, is to think that you have 4 phosphates. If you had 4 phosphates, 4 phosphates would look like this. Okay, because phosphate is a phosphorus with 4 oxygens attached to it that all has a 3 negative charge. Phosphate PO4 is that group. You have 1 of that group. You don't have 4 of that group. Yes? So we have 1 iron, we have 1 phosphate. The charge of phosphate, we looked it up, it was 3 minus. So the second thing you have to do is you have to find the charge on the anion. And then you're going to find the total negative charge. This one's pretty easy. What's our total negative charge? 3 negative, because we only got 1 of them, right? What does the total positive charge have to be? It has to be 3 positive. They have to be equal and opposite, so the entire thing equals out to 0. And there is really only one place for that 3 plus to go. It's going to go on the iron, and we get 3 plus. Which means, what Roman numeral will we use for iron? 3. So that is iron 3 phosphate. And this technique will work even if you don't have polyatomic ions. So if you're still working on quiz 5, I think, uses Roman numerals, then you'll still use this same technique. Or maybe it's quiz 4, I can't remember. Anyway, one of them uses, yeah, quiz 4 uses this as well, just without the polyatomics. Now, what if we had, we'll do 2 more examples and then I will set you free to do your quizzes. What if we had Cu2SO4? That's copper. Does copper need a Roman numeral? Yes. If we look on our periodic table, copper is in the red zone. So it's going to be copper something, and then whatever is after the copper is going to be a polyatomic ion if it's not a single atom. Okay, so we're going to look and we're going to say, what is SO4? SO4 is sulfate. Okay, so SO4 is sulfate. SO3 would have been sulfite, but we have SO4, so it is sulfate. And SO4, while we were there, we could have looked up, it has a 2 minus charge. How many, we're going to write out all the ions. How many coppers? 2. Copper, copper. How many sulfate? Is it 1 or is it 4? 1. If it was 4, what would you have to have? You would have to have brackets. Okay, so it's just 1 sulfate, SO4, and its charge is 2 minus. Find your total negative charge. Oh, well, that was easy. It's 2 minus. What's our total positive charge then? If we have 2 minus, our total positive has to be 2 plus. And if I have 2 coppers giving me 2 plus, what is the charge of each individual copper? If each one was 2, that would be a problem, right? That would give us 4. So each individual copper has to be plus 1. That's exciting. So it's just going to be plus, which means plus 1. And so the Roman numeral will then be 1. Okay, because the plus 1 tells us the charge. One last one. Ni3 PO4 2. Write out all the ions. How many nickels? You guys are really lively today. There's 3 nickels. Ni, Ni, Ni. How many phosphates do we have? 2. We have PO4 and we have PO4. We can look up the charge of PO4. It is 3 minus. That's on our chart. So our total negative is -6, and our total positive is +6. That does not mean it's going to be nickel 6 phosphate. Okay? What's the charge on each individual nickel? 2. So that means it's going to be nickel, Roman numeral 2, because that's the charge on each individual nickel phosphate. Okie dokie. So you now have the tools in theory to do all the quizzes up to quiz number 6. Now, of course, if you need like a little lesson on something in the meantime or a little help, just call me on over and I'd be happy to do that for you. Okay, and you can see on the board if you have missed some quizzes because you know you've been away and are just getting caught up, your name will be up here. Hopefully everyone will be done quiz 4 and maybe quiz 5 even by the end of today. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If you're not quite there because you've been away, it's not the end of the earth, but we're gonna try. Okay. Yay! Now I have to flip to your block so I record you in the right place. This is quiz number 4. Kira, yay! Thank you. There you go. You finished quiz 4. Okay, Chris, what did you get on quiz 4? A 5? Okay. That's okay. Oh, and we can shut that thing off so it doesn't blind you. Hi, Roger. I know, right? What was reading? What was reading? Guys.
I thought you were slower than me.
I want you to look carefully at chlorate, and then look what you've got here. Carbonate, yeah. Okay?
And I had a question about this.
Yes.
Are these two the same?
They are the same thing. You can name them either way. This is the common name. That's the official name. Either one works.
So just do another quiz?
Yep. If you feel you're good, you can just do the quiz right away. Ida. Why did I mark that wrong?
Is it correct?
It is correct. What is wrong with me? No, you're good. I don't know what's wrong with me. There you are. Yay! Kaylin. There you go. Where is Kaylin? There we go. Thank you. Seyoung. So these two would need Roman numerals, so you need to watch out for that when you do this quiz. Okay, so some of them will need it, some of them won't. Okay? Hi. Yes, for sure. You probably want to redo number 3.
Oh, that's the one I accidentally.
Yeah, you accidentally did something. I think I might even have it here. Let's see.
But I forgot that some of them didn't need the prefixes.
I think it was that, yeah. Yeah, that was the one where
okay,
you,
so
yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quiz 4, all right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so the only thing is you put a prefix in here when it's an ionic compound. Yeah? And you misspelled that one, but I'll give it to you. Okay? Yeah. Nathan K. There we go. There you go.
Let's see how this one is.
Okay. So good. Okay, I'm going to record that and then we're going to go back to your seat and figure out those other ones. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for this one.
Yes.
So this has charge -3, -2, -1.
Yeah. Positive
This,
1, positive 2, positive 3. Positive 1, positive 2, positive 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
oh, what about like hydrogen?
Hydrogen can go either way. It can be plus or minus 1.
Okay, thank you. It
Hi.
might be just because I don't know this.
I'll be back in just 1 minute. Okay, so this is Kai. Kai. Sorry, who had a question first? You were first? You have a question.
It might just, I'm not sure, but is H4F in the...
But you know what is? Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Yay! Thank you, Angelo. I'll be right with you, Kennedy. Yes.
I don't get it. Why you said like 2 and only 2 non-metals?
Because if you have 3 nonmetals, then it's going to be NH4 with something else.
So like, so like only 2 types of non-metal?
So only 2 capital letters in the formula.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Not that there aren't, there are other compounds. However, they're not named using the same system and we won't be learning about them this year. So you can just be like, okay, I don't care about them.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Saya.
Better?
So much better.
Here.
Yes.
I don't color these ones. Should I color those ones? No? Everything outside there, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? And then all these down here.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Seong. How many nitrates? Oh, okay. And then this one, I think you want it, what number did you want here? 5? 5 is just a V.
Oh.
Okay? Yeah. So here you can use this until you know your Roman numerals. 1, 2, 3. Those ones are easy. Okay. 5 is a V. 1 before 5 is a 4, and 1 after 5 is a 6, and then we have a 7. So just use that until you know them. Okay? Yeah. Thomas, what are you working on? Okay. You might also want to retake quiz 3 because it wasn't awesome. You might also want to retake quiz 3 because your mark is only... you have a 2 right now. So if you're happy with that... What was your best one? Well, that was on quiz 2. This is quiz 3 I'm talking about. Yay!
Thank you.
Joshua. There we go.
Quiz free.
Quiz 3. Hi. Your quiz. There you go. Sophia. There you go. Candace. There you go. Alvin. There you go. Chloe. Rajan.
Miss Spence. Miss Spence.
In fact, I personally cut my hair because when it's long like this, all I have to do is I put it in 2 ponytails here and here, and I go like this and like that. No. And then I have my husband fix it in the back. I'm like, come on, just fix it in the back for me. and then every time I comb it, I'm like, oh, there's a little bit there, and then I just snip it off. I know, right? Angela, just be a second. Thomas. Okay, so you are putting prefixes on everything. Yes? Prefixes are only for covalent where you have non-metal and non-metal. Anytime you have a metal, yes, metal, 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 then you need no prefixes at all.
Just for the metals or both of them?
Both of them.
Ooh.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Alvin. Alvin is not here. Hi.
Not finish it.
You cannot finish it and do it. Yeah, you don't have to do everything. Hi. Okay, so what is wrong with number 6?
Oh, so nitrogen is not.
Sodium is not in the red zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay. But that's not bad. You can either redo it or you can take a 5.
Okay.
Okay? Sian. There we go. That is a 5. Okay, you changed the ending of the first word. Oops. You can redo it if you want, or you can take a 5. Your choice. Hello.
Oh, I don't want to watch it again. I hate that.
Even when it's perfect? Just seriously. Yeah. Ida. Yes, where did I put it? There you go. Yay. So you're welcome to start reading about number 7 and see if you can figure it out on your own. Ask if you have questions. Rajan. Thank you. Yeah. So why don't we give you, Tasha, I'll give you a quiz 2 and 3. Okay, and that way, you've got them with you. You've done both. Good, Autumn. There you go. No, you got it. Is that chlorine?
Oh, that's capital.
Yes. Do you want to fix that one?
Sure.
Okay. Thomas. Thomas. Very nice.
Yay.
Yeah. Allie. Thank you, Candace. What did you forget on that one?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I want you to look carefully at that and look carefully at that.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, okay. So just be careful when you do
Yeah.
those, and then, yes, and oh, this
I
one,
don't. It confuses me sometimes.
this one needs a Roman numeral.
Oh, it includes Roman numerals.
Yes, so you're gonna have to look for that. This one also needs a Roman
Okay.
numeral. So this will be like a, I don't know. Anyway, it's a
I'll just
redo.
redo it.
It's a redo on this one, yes. Saya. Hi.
Do it again.
You can do it again. Yes. Gabia, how are we coming along in quiz number 4? Yeah, if you have time, yeah, do it now. Why not? You did quiz number 4. Have you been practicing on quiz number 5? Then you want to have your book open and be practicing on quiz number 5, right? Okay. Oh, phosphorus. Okay. How many carbonates do you have? 1. If you had 3, it would look like that. But you don't have that, so you just have 1. Okay? So that means that your CO3 is 2 minus, and the cobalt is 2 plus. Yes? Okay. When you do phosphide, it's not phosphoride, it's just phosphide with no R. Okay. And then this one, you don't change the first name, and because it's 2 nonmetals, you need prefix. Okie dokie. Yeah, you can practice for that one a little more. Yeah? Yeah. Hello.
It's still 30. Oh, it's still 30. How exciting. I know, right? What is the ammonia? Is there
Ammonia is NH3 with no charge. NH4 plus is ammonium. There's two of them, and it is confusing. I know. Hi. That's sulfite, you want SO4. But everything else looks good. Okay? Yeah. Oh, then. There we go. Sure, thank you.